an email. Well, we actually send that information the same way. So when your information goes to our supercomputers in Germany, it's just a file, and it comes back to us, and your name is here, not there. Okay, so it's really interesting how this works, and we'll talk about it in a moment. And this device is very safe, it's very effective, and again, it's attached to a laptop, and here's the best part. Chris and his team now have that device here, and it is now associated with their practice to measure and to help support the changes that we're having with the fantastic Hocket and also the nutritional conversation. We're going to talk about that in a moment. This is the process. We just take hair from the nape of the neck. Why the nape of the neck? We don't take it from the top of the head. By the way, if you have no hair on your head, okay, we can take it from only the eyebrows. This is a fact. We have no information from any other hair in any other place in the body except for the nape of the neck, where the freshest hair comes out because it's been in the body for 90 days. And the eyebrows, which seem to be lined up with the brain cortex, exactly aligned with the nape. But we're even learning more about our technology. But if you try to take hair from top, you will not get a good reading. If you try to take it from the legs or anywhere else, it won't work. Now, if a person has anything related to not having the ability to have any facial hair or hair on their head, then we can't do the report. That's the only time that we were able to do the report. But other than that, eyebrows or the nape of the neck. So, what are we looking for? Well, this is really important. We're looking for environmental changes, amino acids, minerals, vitamins, antioxidants, essential fatty acids, foods, resistance related to your gut, and EFAs are very important too, because we can even break them down to the smallest essential fatty acids. So we're able to provide you a chart that will literally pixelate how your body's utilizing all these resources based on what's storing in your hair cell. So that is done in a very simple manner, and it will be reported every 90 days, and we're going to talk about that in a second. We're going to focus on vitamins, 15 most common, minerals, 16 everyday minerals, antioxidants, the 23 major groups, all 23 amino acids, and the essential fats, 3, 6, and 9. I mean, how many people want to know that if they're eating essential fats, they're eating the right essential fats, and their body is getting enough of them? How many people think of essential fats as just the 3s? Oh, fish oil, or anything related to that. But the 6s and 9s, which come from other food groups, are being measured in this as well. And we actually chart this based on input-output. Okay, so how many people know that nutrition is input? How many people know that environment's input? But how many people know the output? And how many people know how much the body is utilizing? You see, this is giving you, because it's physical measurement, how much your body is utilizing, meaning that if you should add a little more of that food group to your regular dietary regime, because your body is using those resources more aggressively, right? Think about it. You take supplements, you change your food, you use the Hocket, you do these amazing things, and all of a sudden, you go, okay, now should I continue to do the same thing? Should I rotate my foods? Should I add a little? Yes, every medical wellness professional has taken at least one nutrition course, and it's called a rotation diet. That's what they taught in medical school. Every one of my friends who are medical doctors said, yeah, they just taught us exactly how to do a rotation diet. Because if you eat too much of the same thing, your body will compile that information, and in turn, it could lead to a potential allergen or an allergy. That's the medical side. On the wellness side, we just simply say, how about a rotation? How about knowing that you can rotate a couple of food groups? How many people would like to utilize food 100% to mitigate their needs and resources? Okay, this is what really makes a difference in the way you respond to the report. See, my role is to give you information and give you something you can make a logical response to, coupled with the use of other modalities, and eventually you pull this information together. So, okay, how many people have seen the smokestacks? LA, San Fran, New York, not here, of course not. We don't have them in Hutchinson Island, Florida. We do have a nuclear power plant that's about 60 miles to our south, and that's worrying me a little. But ultimately, chemicals, toxins, and radiation affect us every single day. Matter of fact, when we talked about the Hocket, it's basically a toxin sort of identifier looking to really move those toxins out. That's what we use the term detoxification. But we can pick up environmental differences. We can also utilize information from your report to help the body mitigate anything that's excessive in categories such as bacteria, fungi, mold spores, and by the way, non-medically speaking, the human body has trillions of viruses. So we have this one question mark. If you have a virus operating in your body, you have a bacteria operating in your body, is that a bad thing? Okay, so we just went through the wellness medical continuum in the conversation. It's not a bad thing, but what if you can tell if your body is utilizing more resources to deal with the extra, the physics side of it? And the answer is, that's great, because now you can make food choices to help mitigate that and make change. Remember, food, unfortunately, I'm going to make one comment here for the record. How many people, well, that's the question first, how many people know that in the federal government there's an office for everything? Squirrel management has its own office. Okay? There are so many offices in the federal government, but there's only one office that shares an office. That is the most profound and most powerful office in the federal government as it relates to our longevity and our health. And you know what that office is? What's that?
FDA.
FDA, Food and Drug Administration. Now my question is, if food is not so powerful, why is it in the same office space as a drug? And why is every drug ever developed begin with a basis in nature before it gets synthesized? Ladies and gentlemen, let's be clear. If you can get better choices for your food, have more information, and it just allows you to make a better choice, and every 90 days you can see how that changes, wouldn't you be smarter? Wouldn't you feel a little better psychologically that you're moving down the right road? How many people just absolutely love guessing that everything? Does he love me? Does she love me? Do my kids really appreciate what I do? I'm sorry, I said it. We have to stop guessing and just make a slight assessment, right? We can do that now. So, frequencies interference. How many people think that EMS and electronic frequencies are affecting us big time? Okay? The answer is so scary that I forgot what the answer was because I'm so offended. I mean, that's how scary it is, you know. By the way, what was my name that I introduced me? Electronic frequencies are going nowhere. Matter of fact, they, part and parcel, are the natural ebb and flow of our environment. So we sometimes don't understand it, most of the time, but here's what's starting to happen. Massive frequency impacts. There's this thing called a cell phone, right? And by the way, how many people have ever purchased a cell phone, say, 20 years ago, and they just said, sign here, here's a receipt. And then 10 years ago, they said, sign here, sign here, sign here. And then 5 years ago, they said, sign here, sign here, sign here, sign here, sign here. And now they come up and they say, hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. And then they roll out a scroll, and you can sign in 20 places. Do you know why that's the case? Because of EMFs. And they know what we don't know, but we know, right? I mean, you put a phone smack dab against your head, and you expect it to really work. Yeah, it does, but eventually your brain may not work as well, because we're also seeing it in many, many different things, from Gauss radiations to all the radiations that we're not even cured. But what if you can just pick up on those spectrums? What if we can give you a report that tells you what spectrums are in overload? Pretty cool, right? We now can do things to help you mitigate, but in the end, we're going to recommend foods to mitigate those changes. So, pretty innocuous, right? We give you a report, and then we recommend foods. And then if you want to choose to use supplements, you can do the same thing, but this is the power of our report. Foods play a major role. Foods are the power of change. Okay, how many people think that before Whole Foods there was actually organic, natural food? My kids don't. It's very expensive, that conversation. I said to them, a tomato used to be a lot more organic. And they said, well, if you don't buy Whole Foods, you don't spend 4 times the amount of money, it's not real. I said, well, that's the modern world, but I guess it's okay because at least they're trying. We need food to play a massive role in change, but the problem we're seeing with food is that it's not actually being utilized as a targeted resource. Right now, the cooking channels have taken everything over. Everything's about massive sugar intake. I mean, you ever see Ace of Cakes? How many people want to eat that cake? How many people want to eat that cake from a hospital room? How many people have eaten that cake and ended up in a hospital room? You notice I keep on keeping my hand up, right? I'm not getting anyone else. I guess I'm the one with the problem. But food is so powerful today. But here's the challenge. Our environment is totally taking over our food supply. So now we need to measure that change in our food supply. So in sort of outlining system supports and circulatory support, our report will identify what type of resources, nutritionally and or food-based, that you need to support your report. And we also show you various different ways to help mitigate those changes, purely 100% placed on food. And how many people would like to know the various different additives that are in their food that they're currently dealing with? Okay, real quick, 1975, there was 35 additives in food. 2015, there's 3,500. And by the way, don't take my word for it, just look up the GRAS list, generally recognized as safe. How many people got that memo? How many people got that email? They asked us what was generally recognized as safe. The challenge is as follows. Every one of our food supplies, from the earth they come from to the sky above us, and everything in our skincare products and everything are affecting us. We just need to have more information, and we can help you with that. So, in conclusion, we're going to give you an index, a ratio, an explanation. We're going to give you a breakdown. We're going to give you a 34-page report. A 34-page report that will break down all these categories. And it'll be here, it'll be available, and we can do this all in 90-day windows. So in conclusion, every 90 days, when you go to a fitness trainer or a nutritionist, or anyone in the wellness world will tell you, we look at everything in 90 days. The human body works in cycles. So that said, our reporting system here will be available so that when you're utilizing the Hockin, and you're, as they said, that will help you uptake nutrition better. What we're going to give you is your current state in which your body is holding on or utilizing nutrition, and then